we never talked about God, or we never talked about the Bible. We never talked about anything to our kids. And they started asking us questions, and that's when it hit us, that we need to go to church. Like, Mommy, all our friends are going to church, why ain't we going? Or, all my friends know what happened to God, why don't we know? Or what happened to Jesus, or why don't we know? They went to Bible school at a couple of the churches around here, but they would always go with family. They never went with mom and dad. So we never went as a family. We never felt welcomed. Like when we would go, we felt like they preached toward us on all our failures. And they made us feel terrible. I mean, we knew we made mistakes, but we didn't even throw it in our face.
We'd go one Sunday and never go back. Or we just kept coming.
I saw Tony and I was like, and I heard music, I'm like, this is the church. And he's like, yeah, I think so. So we kind of stood out there and we waited, and Tony, I think maybe Garrett come over and introduced us, and wanted to know if we were there for Uplift. And then, yeah, they stood and talked to us and he introduced us. But the first thing we noticed was that everybody was laid back and in blue jeans, and it didn't matter what you wore, and we felt very important and welcomed. We were offered food and drink, and we were all shy because we don't know anything, but the girls just jumped right in and felt at home. And just seeing the smile on their face that they were having fun was what we were there for.
The music's different. It's kind of like I explained to Travis. I said, no, the music's different. It's got a beat to it. I said, I believe you enjoy it. And I noticed that about it. And he said the same thing that day when he left.
It's not this music that you're like, when's this song gonna be over?
Yeah. It's kind of got more of a beat and stuff, and you actually listen and get into it.
I felt excited because I was like, I really like it. This feels like home. And I got with the girls and they had a blast. And we started to leave, and I was like, I whispered to John, actually, I was like, do you want to come back? Because I'll find out, where they're at. If this is the only Sunday that they're going to have church, is the last Sunday, or if they have it somewhere else. He's like, yeah, find out. So we just walked out, and I was like, now, Tony, where do you all meet at when you're not here? And he's like, Nicholsville Townhouse. And he's like, we'd be glad to have you back. And I'm like, we're going to come back. And we get in the car, and I'm like, so what'd y'all think? And everybody's like, we liked it, we want to come back. And the girls were super excited. We've never seen them with that big of a smile on their face that they just enjoyed it. And we knew right then that was really, we knew that we was coming back. We find ourselves like every day talking about church. And the girls are like, can I get this to wear to church? Or can I take this to church? And it's all about church. And just since they've been coming here, like the girls will tell you like more stories from the Bible. They knew a lot because I would sit down and talk to them, but it was just a children's Bible, nothing real. And they'll tell you now, like Allie will talk to her mama and stuff about it. Yesterday we went to our first Christian bookstore ever. And we bought the Unspoken CD, and I actually bought one of the English Standard Version Bibles, one of my first English Standard Version. I was like, this is so much easier to read. We didn't even know where our Bible was. We started coming to church. Uplift. We had no idea where it was. They're on the table beside the couch. Both of them. And both girls have one on their nightstands. And before, I probably couldn't have went through my house and found one. I knew there was one there, but I couldn't wait on it. Oh, I didn't know where it was. He actually called his mom, and he's like, is my Bible still up there? He's been moved out for 10 years. And he called his mom and asked her if his Bible was still at home.
It was still in the box. I guess it comes in a little bitty box.
Yeah.
I hadn't tugged at church probably 3 or 4 times since that's when I was real little. I'd go every now and then, and I got one, and it laid there for all them years until we started coming here.
I just think they're working the way God wants it to work, not by what you're dressed like or what you look like or your mistakes. They're just accepting you. The church is accepting you for you. And that's what God wants you to do. I think it's really changed our future. And it's a lot of things people would understand as far as just being at home and us talking amongst each other about God and Jesus and the Bible and to our girls that we would have never done before. And without God in our girls' lives, it would have been like we don't fight as much, just about crazy stuff. I mean, we would just pick fights just to fight. We don't do it anymore. And I feel like me coming from a broken home, I was very jealous. And I didn't want him to go anywhere, you know. Now I'm just like, go, it's good for you, you go have fun. Because I know that God's on our side. I talk about it a lot at work. I'm like, it's unreal what Uplift has done to Jonathan. It was so easy for us to make up an excuse not to go to church. We had 1,000 excuses. We don't go to church because of this and this and this. And now, it's not a question if we're going to church on Sunday, we're going. It's not on Saturday night, well, are we going to church in the morning? We don't ask that question anymore. When we first started, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, we're like, well, are we going to church tomorrow? Or the girls would be like, are we going to church tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, we're going. Or I'd be like, Jonathan, what's your plans for Sunday? You know, I know you gotta go feed, and you gotta go do this, and you gotta do that. And it was like summer, so they was mowing hay and all that stuff. I'm like, are we going to church? She's like, yeah, that can wait.
And my mom and him could tell the difference. And my dad, I asked, what are you going to do Sunday? And my mom would say, they're going to church. It's because I usually have to help him a lot. So now he's got it for, like, he's got something to do, we'll do it after church instead of doing it before.
Now everybody gets up and excited, and just like this morning, we were up at like 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, we were ready to come to church. And I'm like, this is unreal. We were just sitting there like finding stuff to do until 10 to leave the house. That we have been hurt by a church before, and we know what it feels like. And Uplift is completely different. And it really is changing the way you think about church. Because they're not going to talk about your mistakes, they're not going to talk about your flaws. They don't care what tattoo you got. They don't care what you look like, how much money you have. The Uplift is going to accept you. To just give it a try. That, you know, God still is there trying to get into their heart, but they just need maybe an Uplift church family to help them let him in. Because that's what we needed.
Running to one man after a ball game, he allowed, he didn't like church. And I told him, I said, you need to come and give Uplift a try. I said, I didn't either. And I said, it's just different. I said, they're trying to change the way you think about church. And I said, they welcome you in. I said, everybody's friendly. I said, you just need to come and give it a try. You will like it. And I said, like the music when we was in the parking lot, it like, I don't know, caught my ears. And I said, the music's different. I said, you'd really like it. And I said, the people, they welcome you and all that stuff. And it don't matter what you wear. I said, you wear what you got on. And he said he would come and give it a try.
I'm Pam.
I'm Jonathan. Uplift has changed the way we think about church.